Warning: Alan and JJ Johnson are not professional comedians. During this program, you will be exposed to unfiltered dad jokes in their most potent and raw form, dads telling them to each other. Watching this video may lead to serious physical harm, including facepalm concussions, head-shaking whiplash, and uncontrollable groaning. Proceed at your own risk.
Hey YouTube, it's Alan.
And I'm JJ.
And we're two dads and a joke. We're here to give you at least a 6-pack of dad jokes and a shot of parenting wisdom today. So JJ, you want to do a quick intro of who you are and what you're working on?
Yeah, I'm JJ Johnson. I'm the author of the Iggy and Oz series. I just released Iggy and Oz, The Plastic Giants of Doom, which Alan's showing you. And I've wrapped up book 2, Iggy and Oz, The Soda Pop Wars, and I'm currently working on Iggy and Oz, The Living Snot. And that's what I'm doing for the month of November.
That's awesome. Well, I'm Alan Brocken. I'm the author of the Towers of Light series. We've got Light of Mine back there that's just coming out this month in November. It's come out. But for NaNoWriMo, I am writing book 3 in the series. Yet to be titled. I haven't quite figured that one out. Book 2, The Still Small Voice, is... I'm putting pause on edits on that. I'll finish that up in December, and so hopefully that'll be available in June this year. So, you know what, though? When I'm starting to think about, this writing and why I did it for my kids. And, my kids can be quite a bit of entertainment, and they have some dad jokes themselves.
Really?
Can you believe this?
Let's hear them.
Yeah, so my son comes in, my older son comes in, he says, "Dad, we're out of super glue." And I said, "It's date night. I'm not taking your mom to the super glue store." So my 14-year-old, he comes along and he says, "Dad, the super glue store is perfect for date night." And I just kind of look at him like, what are you saying? And he turns around and he says, "It keeps your relationship together." I gotta admit, that's some sage advice from my 14-year-old. If I want to keep my relationship with my wife together, I just need to take her to the super glue store.
All right. Well, speaking of relationships, my wife loves pumpkins. Pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin smell, all sorts of pumpkins, and we're in fall, and we're in Thanksgiving season, and all that stuff. So here's a question for you. What do you get if you divide a pumpkin's circumference by its diameter?
The pumpkin circumference? I don't know. What do you get?
Pumpkin pie.
Oh, math joke. That's a good one.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yes. But it's...
I'm going to have to get a t-shirt like that.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yeah. Pumpkin.
Yeah. Definitely need a t-shirt like that. Pumpkin. Nice. Well, hey, JJ. As I was talking about kids a minute ago, and writing in my book. One of the concepts in Light of Mine, if you notice, there's spear and a shield and a sword, and they're all cool. I pulled that idea out of the Bible, out of the Put on the Full Armor of God.
Really?
Now, here is a really cool thing I got from my daughter, who she went to Greece this year to study abroad. She's studying the Bible abroad, of all things.
Nice.
And so, in the book, we have a shield, a spear, and a sword in there that the kids pick up, and they have special abilities to help them defeat evil. But you know what we can do for our viewers?
What's
we
that?
can give them custom-made. This is orange because it's custom 3D printed stuff. We've got custom-made action figure, Lego minifigure weapons, sword, spear, and shield that go with a printed copy of the book if they will join us on Follow Friday and follow our channel.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be awesome for the month of November. We're going to have Follow Friday prizes. So, JJ, you got another joke for me?
I do got another joke for you. And, we've been talking about money quite a bit for the past 3 weeks, and it's a very important topic. And so You know, one of the things my dad used to always say when I'd ask him for something, he'd say, you know, the money doesn't, grow on trees. But, if money really did grow on trees, you know what everybody's favorite season would be?
What?
Fall.
Of course, fall. I should have just said fall. That's what I was thinking, because it's fall.
It's fall.
Right? You know what else happens in the fall?
What's that?
Corn mazes.
Yes.
There are corn mazes in the fall because, corn mazes is fall. So I was out on Instagram the other day and I ran into pun_D.M.C. Pun DMC. And they gave us a great dad joke in the corn maze.
Really?
I felt like I was being stalked. It was eerie. Thank you, Pun DMC, for that amazing fall combo wombo joke. But that corn, it kind of makes me hungry. Did you hear the rumor about butter?
No, I did not.
Never mind, I shouldn't spread it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's horrible. This is a horrible episode of Two Dads and a Joke.
All right.
But I like that. The corn maze theory, that's all good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So, but and when I think about spreading, the biggest problem when money gets tight is how you gotta spread too little peanut butter across too much bread. I think that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So, JJ, where was your head with the, when to tighten up?
Yeah, so, this is something that we've had to do just recently. One of the things, for those of you who don't know, my son went into the hospital back around the 4th of July. He was on the 1st all the way up through, we got out the 3rd. But we had to spend several nights in the hospital. We had to transfer from one hospital to another hospital on an ambulance and a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, CAT scan, surgery, just a nightmare of a situation for any parent. And so coming out of that, you're glad everything's okay, but then the bills start to roll in.
Yeah, wow.
And yes, insurance is a great thing. I look at what I would have paid versus what what I just have to pay, and I'm like, I'm glad I had to pay that premium every month. But during that time, we had to start tightening up, our budget because we had, several $1,000s that we had to pay off. And, we put a little bit of it on a little bit of a payment plan because there was no interest and the hospital was gracious to allow us to work out a payment plan like that. But it's still one of those situations where we have birthdays coming up. I was heading to Realm Makers. We had a lot of things coming up. And so at that moment, we had just had to take a step back and say, we got to stop. We can't be eating out all the time. And yes, you've been talking about margin, building in margin and things like that. But sometimes you have to take that margin out, unfortunately, and because it's just not there because it's having something else unexpectedly has happened. We've always been, you've talked about Dave Ramsey, and he's always talked about $1,000 emergency fund. I like to have a couple $1,000 emergency fund.
Right. Well, that's just the bare minimum.
Exactly.
That's where you get started.
Exactly. So, but that savings can take a massive hit right out of the gate sometimes, especially with these hospital bills. And so, you have to be able to think about when I need to tighten my belt up and just realize that, for the next few months, we're not going to be going to Chick-fil-A or to a movie or anything like, or buying books, or anything that's entertainment value. We're gonna have to just be consistent on being responsible of taking care of a debt, but B, our normal day-to-day lifestyle, and also trying to get our savings built back up to where it's when this situation hits again, we're ready for it. And thankfully, we were in a place where we were ready for it because of some savings that we had. But it gets very uncomfortable when you see an emergency fund disappear pretty quick.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mentioned last episode, I just had to buy a furnace.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you got to figure out what you're doing, right? And so, the week that we bought the furnace, my wife went to Aldi and got our date night consisted of a relatively cheap Aldi steak on the grill at home. That was the extent of our date night splurge, right? When normally we would go out to dinner somewhere, and we found some other ways to make things cheaper. I think, for a young couple with young kids, one of the things that I thought really was pretty cool was when we were really struggling and working through this sort of stuff. We did a lot of prep cooking stuff where we would go to Aldi, go to the double coupon store, wherever we could get the best deal on the food. But then we would prepare up a month's worth of food.
Yeah.
Like, we had some other friends that we would do that together. And when we did that, when the kids got of age, we would actually include them in it. So it was kind of like, we're not going to Chick-fil-A, but we're going to make some homemade chicken nuggets.
There you go.
Right? That, we're going to make them ourselves. We're going to put them in the freezer, and then we're going to have some chicken nuggets. They're not going to be the same, but we made them, right? And there's a lot of value in both the doing that prep in advance. I mean, I got to be honest. When my wife still does that from time to time, we'll just bake up a bunch of stuff, and I don't eat out. I don't, because it's there. It's that Thursday night, I'm tired, the week's already too long, and I got to go back to work Friday, that starts that kind of trend of Chick-fil-A or whatever. And if you do that prep cooking, it's a huge benefit in that tightening the belt time and bringing your kids along, help them with a skill they're going to need when they're adults.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've noticed the same thing. One of the things I notice is I don't want to fix something for dinner, but I'll go sit in a drive-thru for dinner
for 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then come home, eat something that's totally not healthy for me to eat, and I could have already made a sandwich and probably been sitting down watching TV, just relaxing or something like that, for the past 20 minutes. So sometimes I'm just like, why did I do that? That took twice as long. It costs more money, and it's not as good for me. So, sometimes I try to think about how I can put this into perspective, and it amazes me how, I make an excuse, but really, it's more work, and
right.
And more money, obviously. So.
No, totally, and I think the main thing is when it's time to tighten up, anything you can do to have your kids engage with you in that process.
Yeah.
Help me be. It's just good for them, in their thing, because at some point they're going to be old enough. They're going to be driving their own cars. They're going to have to look at their own budget and go. And I've seen my kids make some really interesting choices of, I'm not going to go out to this thing with my friends because I don't have enough gas money to do what I'm going to, what I need to do for the rest of the week. So I think that's important, lessons is that looking at, hey, and when I get a little older, I'm going to have to make these choices too. And when you think about driving, you know who can't drive a car?
Who's that?
A giant sloth. They can't drive a car. You know why?
No.
They're extinct.
Come on. Seriously. All right.
What do you think?
All right. So we're coming up on Thanksgiving, Matt, and I've never gotten into bird fighting or anything like that. It's underground in some places, but you know what happened when the turkey got into a fight?
What happened when the turkey got into a fight?
He got the stuffing knocked out of him.
Oh, the stuffing knocked out of him. Well, folks, I think we just knocked the stuffing out of this episode of Two Dads and a Joke.
I agree.
I'm Alan.
I'm JJ.
And we'll catch you next time.
Later.